There's been a ton of videos about the lore. I decided to make something a bit different, and that is basically to think, to put some thought into this guy here and actually figure out what is his character all about, which means literally his freaking character. So as you may know, I hope that you know, because some people actually do not know, but as you maybe know, some of the traitors actually have very false pretenses, so to speak. They are very misled by chaos. This is no different. Actually, it is different in the ways that it kind of manifests because he has his own power and strength. He does not like to be controlled. That is one of the things that makes him more different than some of the other traders, let's say. Not that they like to be controlled, but they're kind of like, okay, kind of comes with the deal, but he is more of a, well, I'm not gonna be controlled, but still, seems like chaos seems to be okay with that, at least to a certain extent. Now, let's not get ahead of myself. So Abaddon did a spoiler, guys. The former right hand of Horus Lupercal, and he, as well as Horus, were very misled to believe what the Emperor actually is, his goals, and all of that, and we can blame for all of those things Erebus, Logar, and whoever, chaos in general. So as Horus was so much into his own ego and so much clinging to chaos as some kind of an alternative to his own father, the Emperor, this guy here saw the error of Horus's ways and that Horus relinquished his own willpower in order for chaos to control him. Abaddon wants none of that. He saw what Horus saw in the Emperor. He thinks that the Emperor is this huge egomaniac. Well, not that he is not in a way, but from the last 3 books, The End and the Dead, we saw that the Emperor is willing to relinquish, and he did relinquish his godhood. He did not become the Dark King, and thus he saved the whole freaking universe. After all, he did. So previously we thought that the Emperor is a huge freaking egomaniac, and that still has some merit, or at least it had more before. But because of his ex-friend, Olania's person, I have to further learn about him, but yeah, because of him, the Emperor is like, okay, you have a great case, Olanius, so I'm not gonna become an egotistical maniac god and not gonna destroy humanity and the whole universe. And also the Emperor relinquished all of his good qualities by sending them in the form of a star child somewhere in the warp, only destined after a while to descend so they can become one with the Emperor himself. So that is how I see it from all the books that I've read, that the Star Child is the goodness of the Emperor, all of his really positive qualities, and when it's going to reunite with the Emperor, we don't know, but if that happens, the Emperor is going to be whole again, and he's going to be, hopefully, once again in flesh and blood. Somehow. But the point is, guys, that the Emperor is not this evil person that Horus was thinking him to be and that Abaddon was thinking the Emperor to be. So all of their perception of the Emperor, all of their negative lens that they have seen the Emperor through, it is not legit. It is false. It is something that the devil will do in any other franchise when he wants to manipulate anyone really into believing whatever he wants them to believe.
Purge, I say.
Pretty much this reminds me of how the left in today's times is manipulating people into thinking that the world is gonna end if Trump is president and all those things. That's another topic, but really, guys, this is like a parallel, and Abaddon to me is like the 40k version of either like a Karen or a Karen that is from the left.
That is clever.
Because who that is really mentally sound with their logic and impartialness intact, just counting the facts all together, will be like this guy, totally nuts and going around and wanting to destroy the Imperium and take revenge on the Emperor like the Emperor took his candy bar or something.
What was the word I was looking for? Yes, heresy.
I mean, this guy is basically delusional. So, when it comes to character analysis, guys, coming from all the things that Erebus thinks about the Emperor, the things that he saw, he's still very delusional, because also remember that Gabriel Loken, one of the best sons of Horus, one of the best Astartes, so noble, so logical, so wise, died before his very eyes, and he didn't really do much of a thing. You know, if I was him, I would not listen to Erebus, I would kill Erebus right there on the spot, but he was still absolutely in agreement with himself to listen to Erebus and be like, yeah, we should flee now, okay?
I should have evaporated you long ago.
Hey, idiot! Gabriel Loken was one of the most amazing loyalist Astartes in all history. Such a good guy. He was absolutely not attacking you. He was absolutely in peace with whatever is happening. He was going to let you go, you idiot.
Ha! Chaos must have gotten you by the balls.
And of course, you know, Abaddon was like, okay, he was not going to hurt Gabriel. But he didn't kill Erebus for what he done, and he should. And that's another topic. What the heck's gonna happen to freaking Erebus? When he's going to die? You know? I gotta make a video about that. When is Erebus going to die? He has to die. He's freaking horrible. I really hate the guts of Erebus. Okay. So he's also the epitome of evil and how you can manipulate some of the most intelligent. Because they're Astartes, they should be very wise and intelligent. But no. They have pride. They have ego that is the size of Jupiter or several Jupiters. A lot of the Primarchs also are pretty much a man-child, and that is why they fell. Each and everyone had their own issues. Now Angron is another story. He's a victim. Poor Angron. He was really noble in his nature, but the way that things happen for him, and then being forced to have the butcher's nails, it's an absolute tragedy. He was turned into a weapon. He never had any choice in the matter. I'm just really sorry for Angron. The more I learned about him, the more I took pity on him, basically. This guy is just a product of manipulation. He is absolutely brainwashed, and the irony is that he is doing the same thing that Horus is doing, basically, but he thinks that he has more control over chaos and over his own actions. That's the difference. But is that really the case? Maybe we'll see in the future if he is more or less under the control of chaos, how much of what he's doing is really his own doing, like fully his own anger. Because remember, if he is angry, if he is in this emotional state, he's super easy to manipulate. Chaos is all about manipulation when you are weak and not thinking, but you're only using your emotions to do the decision making, which is stupid, as you know. The whole world in today's times is ruled by emotion and not real thought, and that's why we have the left apocalypse right now going on in the real world, because they're all freaking emotion. They don't think with reason, and whatever they're doing is equal to mental illness, basically, and we actually see that all the time. But again, I don't want to digress into today's politics. The point is that Abaddon, guys, although he's a huge threat and all of those things, he's like Horus 2.0. That's kind of the irony that he is. He said to Horus, "You are not my father," like at one point, as I understand, when he actually saw Horus's corpse later down the line, when Fabius Bao already have done some experiments on his corpse, which is disgusting, of course. He is not a fan of his father. He denounces his father. To him, he betrayed him as well. So the emperor betrayed him, and he said that he does not want to be under anyone. He just wants to control and rule over everything. Remember, that's how Horus also was. He wanted to rule over anyone and anything. He thought that he's gonna rule over chaos as well. He actually thought that. But throughout this whole time, chaos was in control of him. They are willing to make him believe whatever he wants, but they're still holding the reins, and they're still the ones that give him his power, because when that power left his body, the emperor further killed him, basically. So despite Abaddon being this huge threat, he is so weak-minded in this way that he is a brainwashed puppet once again, in one way or another. He is angry about nothing. The Emperor is not impure the way that he thinks that the Emperor is. Yes, he's not perfect, but compared to chaos and compared to what Horus have become, compared to the noble Astartes that Abaddon also killed, that Horus also killed because they thought that the Emperor is evil or whatever, far outweighs what they think about the Emperor to begin with, which once again is not true, because at the end of the day, the bottom line and what is currently established, especially by the last 3 books as I mentioned, is that the Emperor is actually so in love with humanity. He wants to protect humanity more than anything else in the world. Humanity is number one for the Emperor, because if it wasn't, he would have become the Dark King. He did not actually know that he is becoming the Dark King, so that was even unconscious, and that is why O had to talk to him and to talk him out of this transformation. If he completes that, humanity, chaos, everything's gonna be destroyed. So from one hand, he fights his son, not on equal grounds, but he's less powerful than his son. You know, that also actually means, guys, that the Emperor didn't know that all of this is gonna happen. Kinda, that's like the biggest thing, I think. I have to think about that. Maybe I'm going to make a video about it, because if this moment is what it is, that should mean that the Emperor did not know that he's gonna reach a point where he will not be able to win. Maybe he didn't even know that the Primarchs are gonna betray him. Maybe what Chaos did by spreading the pods of the Primarchs is really what they did, and it's not something that the Emperor knew about or could prevent. If that is the case, oh my gosh, that means that the Emperor is really not that omnipotent, and he's really not that all-knowing. Well, I knew that he's not that wise. I think that much is clear, but it would be a lot more clear actually if he really didn't know I did all the things that he did just because he thought that he was doing the right thing, but at the end of the day he's like a flawed human. Anyways, everyone are flawed in the Warhammer 40k universe. Anyone is flawed and everyone has their own struggle, which is actually another topic. Do you think, guys, that someone is a Mary Sue in the 40k universe? Let me know down below. Who is a Mary Sue? Who's the biggest Mary Sue of this universe? Okay, so back to Abaddon. Abaddon. Back to Abaddon, guys. This guy is really pathetic. He really is. It's like the angry bully in school who thinks that because he can beat up a lot of people or everyone, he's the biggest, baddest man on the planet, in this case in the universe, so that's why he's the best. No, really, what makes you the best is a strength of character and knowing if you're falsely led to believe something, and because you're falsely led to believe that thing, you're actually waging war and you're killing amazing soldiers that were your brothers once, even if they're from a different chapter or legion, whatever. He wants to wage war against humanity, and he comes from humanity. He was once a normal human being before he became an Astarte. He's now an enhanced human being. How can you be against your own freaking species? That's just not okay. He actually fights with a ton of evil and vested manner against his emperor, against his brothers, against the people that he was supposed to protect. Now he just wants to what? Wear the heads of everyone on his armor and just be like, yeah, death to the Imperium. He already destroyed freaking Cadia. You know, he's already responsible for Cadia. So I would say, guys, that Abaddon the Despoiler is a spoiled chicken nugget.
Chicken nuggets.
Yeah, he's the Karen of the Warhammer 40k universe. I mean, also Logar is. They're both like, I'm angry, I'm gonna destroy everyone, and hatred, and the power that chaos gives me. Yeah, oh, well, why don't you try, if you're such a man, why don't you try to conquer the universe without chaos's backup, huh? Because they're not clean. Remember, they are not clean at all. And you can see that how he looks like. And how can you even accuse the Emperor of ego when you took your father's mantle? You're like, I'm the War Master now. And whoever did not join him, he killed, as far as I understand. So you are the tyrant. You are the one thing that you hate. It's the same with Horus. Like, who's the bigger idiot here? Really, I think they're both pretty freaking lost in a very, very, very similar manner. And if even Gabriel cannot speak to whatever noble qualities Abaddon had, I don't think anybody can by this point. Like, Gabriel was the best, and that is why Erebus killed him, because he was really capable of at least making Abaddon think about things. Now, if Abaddon were to just go, he would probably think, try to recruit, maybe Gilliman would try to go after him on Rogue and to end him, and maybe that would have happened. Gabriel Loken is dead because Erebus is the devil, basically, and he knows who to kill in order to push this agenda that the Emperor and everyone else in the Imperium are super evil and they're the freaking good guys, and he's using this to commit evil all around, which is once again the irony of everything. Let me know what you think in the comments. Who's the biggest Karen of the Imperium? Who is the Mary Sue of the Imperium? Actually, did the Emperor knew, after all, what he was doing? Did he see the outcome of everything? Because he didn't see that he's a Dark King, that for sure. So yeah, let me know down below, and maybe I'm going to make videos about these topics to further think about them and see what the authors may wanted to tell us. Love you guys. If you like to support me, the links are down below to Patreon, PayPal. You can become a member of the channel. If you need me for fitness coaching, actually, if you want to become more like an Astarte, if you need me for advice on your intimate relationships, everything that has to do with sex education, I'm doing all of that in a non-slanesh, absolutely normal way in the pocket dimension of OnlyFans, because there I can upload just like in YouTube, but I can talk freely about sexual topics and helping you guys with stuff, and I can show my own physique updates to let you know how I am progressing in a censored manner, what's happening, how I'm doing this. So thank you so much guys for watching. Till next time with me, the 40k Empress Gary. Bye bye.
I am Rogel Dorn, Primarch of the Imperial Fists. Subscribe to the 40k Empress for more honest Warhammer 40k content, or I will fortify your bathroom.